The Son of Man by Rene Magritte is said to be the artist's most famous piece, depicting the hidden face of a bowler-hatted subject obscured by a floating green apple. Each element is represented through sharp focus and visual realism. He paints poetically, somehow creating both a silence and a thundering internal dialogue in his canvases, jolting the viewers out of complacency. This piece was commissioned by Magritte's friend and patron, Harry Torchiner, who requested a self-portrait of the artist. In the correspondence between the two, however, Magritte stated that he found it difficult to paint himself, describing his difficulties as a problem of conscience. Both the apple and the bowler hat are recurring motifs within Magritte's oeuvre. He repeatedly experimented with these objects, which have since become inseparable when speaking about Magritte himself. In 1966, he said, "It is a headdress that is not original. The man with the bowler is just a middle-class man in his anonymity, and I wear it. I am not eager to singularize myself." This image in our mind is not solely a creation of his, but is Magritte himself. Magritte never thought of himself as a painter, but rather a philosopher that utilized ordinary objects to communicate his thoughts and ideas in a visual medium. He was unique amongst his peers because of the depth of his philosophical understanding. The purpose of his work was to make one think for themselves, to make both the critics and the novel art enthusiasts question their own beliefs. What is it that they seek from art? And is the meaning of art what is shown or what is hidden? Magritte's creative awakening happened in 1923 when he saw a reproduction of Giorgio de Chirico's masterpiece, The Song of Love. It instantly moved him.
D'une manière de peindre, mais de ce qu'il faut peindre, ce qui est très différent.
This painting, which consists of oddly placed objects, opened up Magritte's eyes to the possibility of a new kind of representational painting. He described the event as one of the most moving moments of his life. My eyes saw thought for the first time. His artistic journey was not without obstacles. His very first exhibition in 1927 fell flat, but it created enough of a buzz around this new and up-and-coming artist that he decided to move to Paris. There, he spent 3 years trying to make a name for himself among the Surrealists, led by André Breton. A few notable paintings of his time in Paris include The Lovers, The False Mirror, and The Treachery of Images. Together, these 3 paintings convey what was exciting about Magritte's work. He acknowledges the inherent strangeness of the material world we live in and shows us that art is a world of its own, a world of ideas to be depicted freely, unbound to any expectations. The surrealism that was common in France at the time involved the ideas of automatism and Freud's theories of psychoanalysis of the subconscious, as seen in the works of Salvador Dali. These concepts did not align with Magritte's artistic ambitions in finding answers to the mystery of things in the world around us.
Un mystère. Nous sommes une partie du monde qui est un mystère lui-même. C'est une serrure sans clé, ou une clé sans serrure.
Unfortunately, he did not find the atmosphere of Paris as enjoyable as many other artists at the time and moved back to Brussels to start an advertising agency with his brother. This period of his life was pivotal in his works. His career in advertising helped hone his skills in making an image memorable, in making it stick. Here, in his most famous painting, he has stayed true to his artistic beliefs. We can see a man in an overcoat and a bowler hat standing tall, rather stiffly in front of a short wall. Behind him is a cloudy sky and a light blue body of water. There is some light reflecting off of the man's right side, indicating it might still be daytime. His face is largely covered by the hovering green apple, which seems incorrectly scaled, as it is almost as large as the man's face. The man's eyes can be seen peeking over the edges, a detail one would not notice right away, as the obstruction of the face blinds our minds into not analyzing it any further, accepting our first thought. As we gaze down, we can see that the man's left arm appears to be bent backwards at the elbow, as if he is facing away from us, looking at the water. we can only see the man's head and torso. His body seems stretched out, elongated to look taller than the average person. Magritte also uses colors here carefully to both blend in and stand out. The background, for example, is painted with cooler tones, the grays of the sky and the light blue of the water, giving the painting an ambiance of quiet. On the forefront, the bright red tie and the vibrant green of the apple stand out from the monotones of the background, and we can't help but look here, where he wants us to focus our attention. He has created a perfectly balanced canvas, managing our gaze. He has us in his control. The painting is perfectly balanced when it comes to lines as well. We can see horizontal lines dividing the background into 3 sections: the sky, the water, and the wall. The vertical lines break the horizontal lines of the composition. We can see a vertical line at the center of the subject where his coat buttons up, and 2 more between his torso and his arms. The apple and the bowler hat both take on the shape of a circle, further adding to the symmetry and balance Magritte has created here. Magritte's mind and creative thought process are fascinating. We can see this best here, a depiction of an artist working, looking at an egg and painting a bird. This is not a realistic representation of what he is using as a model, but instead it is key in interpreting Magritte's thought process because the egg and the bird are unarguably connected. He highlights the limits of vision and instead allows us to see the secret life of objects, their potential. So why is this painting important at all? I think its value resides in what comes up in the mind of the viewer. When I was examining this painting before making this video, I stared at it for a while. I felt curious about the man's features, what his expression was, and how he was feeling, thinking I could connect more with the painting if only Magritte decided to show his face. Instead, his choices made me feel frustrated. I could never know what he looks like. That internal conflict, the not knowing, plays a vital role in why Magritte is important today. His power over us comes from the accessibility of his art. We don't need to know anything about art movements, his painting process, or personal philosophy to engage with his art. In that way, his pieces are more useful than many other artists of the time. He pushes us to unlearn, to let go of what we think should be, to instead make meaning on our own and follow our mind's infinite lines of questions. Thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in supporting my work, please give this video a like, subscribe, and click the bell to get notified on all of my new content.